say she has done it all. Stage.
Yes.
Stage. She's laughing, but it's true.
It's true.
Stage, movies, television.
Radio star.
She wrote her autobiography, and can you believe she's spending New Year's Eve with us?
It's amazing.
Fill in your own joke. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Miss Rosemary!
Yay! Happy New Year, everybody! Happy New Year!
Listen, they're whistling for you.
Yay, Rosie!
Take it off.
Take it off.
Yeah, she hasn't done opera or porn yet.
How do you know?
Yeah, she told me. Yeah.
That's in her second book. How's the second book coming?
Pretty good. I'm about halfway through it.
Good. And its first book was called Hold the Roses. This book is called?
I'll take the roses.
I gave you a rim shot there. We were talking before we went on the air when we were in commercial. She said, "What do you want me to talk about?"
Well, she's been on with you so many times, but not everybody has listened to all those appearances.
Yes, they have. When she's on, everybody knows about it. First of all, how is the party out there? I haven't been out there.
Fantastic. The food is unbelievable.
Now, would you say that if Janine wasn't here videotaping you?
Yes, I didn't even know she was here.
She said, what did you say about my cheesecake?
It's just about the best cheesecake I ever ate.
Now, we have
and I am a good cheesecake maker.
That's what I was prefacing. This lady is Italian, so she knows food. Mm-hmm. 1 week ago tonight, we were at her house. You see this belly? I didn't have that last week. Until I ate
You didn't eat that much.
I ate plenty. I ate your potato salad. I ate the linguine.
Did you eat my famous crab dip?
I did. You had that in the other room.
The crab
I remember
dip.
that.
He's been walking like a crab ever since.
So, how long have you been doing these Christmas Eve parties?
Almost since I came out here. See, when I was working and I was single, my husband was in the Army, and it was his birthday, and I was working in Florida, in Hollywood, Florida, and I said to my husband, who was in the Army, I said that sounds like I'm tired, which I am. But anyway.
Well, it is midnight back east.
Anyway, I said to him, when we're married, I said, I will throw you a birthday party every year, which I did. I became the hostess of Van Nuys. I was throwing a costume party every year for my husband, and it was an awful lot of fun. Everybody came in costume, and they loved it, and I cooked all the time. I had I come as a circus performer, and I had a calliope machine. I had a candy cane machine. I had 2 clowns, and the food was hot dogs, hamburgers, and peanuts.
That's perfect.
And that's the way everything went.
Now in those days, did Lucy and Desi come to your parties?
Oh, yeah. And I used to go to their house in Palm Springs, and Lucy used to say to me, "You're going to stay overnight?" I said, "No, I have a daughter. I got to get home." So we used to go there, stay at the party, and then come home. Got to tell you a story about Lucy. Before I got involved with animals, because I've always loved animals, I was a furcaholic. And I swore up and down, if I ever made it big, I was going to have the biggest fur wardrobe it was. And I did. I wound up with an awful lot of furs, and I love them. And not anymore, because I know what they do to the animals.
But nobody knew that back then, or if they did, they didn't want to think.
No, nobody said anything. Everybody was jealous because I had all these furs. So anyway, we're sitting there at the New Year's Eve party at the Lucy's, and this woman came in who later became Desi's second wife, Edie, and she came in with a reversible mink coat. White and black. White showing and black cuffs. And if you turned it inside out, it was black with white cuffs.
Wow.
Most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. So I went to Lucy and I said, "Is that coat reversible?" She went over and she picked up the hem. She says, "Yes, it is. It's reversible." I said, "Well, one of these days I'm going to have one of those."
Sounds just like.
But Lucy and Desi used to come over quite a bit. In fact, I think I told you the story.
When they did the long trailer?
When they came in my living room.
Tell it again, everybody.
Tell it again?
Well, we have so many listeners tonight, they may not have heard the first time.
Well, they were doing long trailer. And I said to Lucy, "If you don't want to come for dinner, I understand, because you're working." She said, "We'll be there." And in they walked for dinner. that night, and we had dinner, and as soon as we got through, she said, come in the living room, and my mother-in-law was with us, my husband was alive then, my daughter and myself. We sat on one side of the couch, and they sat on the other side, and she says, we just did this scene from Long Long Trailer. I want you to see how good Desi was. And they did the scene in front of us. And I said, nobody would believe this. The two biggest stars in the world are sitting in my living room doing a scene from the movie they made this afternoon. I said, it's unbelievable.
And when they were done, you said, no one's going to see this movie.
But anyway,
I love
we were
that
very
story.
close friends.
Tell them about Vincent Price when you were throwing that big party.
Well, I threw up a dinner party for most of the people. I'm telling you, I became the hostess of Van Nuys. I threw a dinner party for everybody on Hollywood Squares. And Vincent Price and Paul Lynde and Peter Marshall and Karen Valentine and God only knows who else. But everybody from the show. And I said 7:30 for cocktails. So I'm getting dressed about 5:45. I have a bathrobe on. Doorbell rings and it's Vincent Price. And I said, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here until 7:30. He never said a word. He carried in 2 cartons, came into the kitchen, put them down, and one box was filled with white wine, the other box was filled with red wine. And I looked at him and I said, don't you think I know enough to have wine at dinner? He says, I'll see you at 7:30. And out he left.
And he came back at 7:30.
And came back at 7:30.
And drank all the wine he brought.
Well, Vincent always used to say when people ask me why I wear the bow, he says it's nailed into her head.
You're still not going to tell us, right?
No.
And it's still not going to be in your second
No.
book. All
No,
right.
it's a good. It's
Talk
her
on the
se-
mic, Janine. Janine's busy
It's her-
videotaping this. Is
it's
this going to end
her-
up on YouTube?
No, it's her secret, and we should know it, right?
You're not going to know it.
No, I know. I said we
Yeah.
shouldn't know it
And you make me bows.
And
all the
she's
time.
wearing one of my bows that
She
I
is.
made.
What
One
is
of the
this?
Christmas
It's
ones.
a Christmas bow.
What is that? It's a dog with 6
no,
legs.
it's a reindeer.
Oh, it's a reindeer.
That reindeer pin was my mother's Christmas pin, and I made it and put it on a bow for
Ah.
Rosie.
Well, I'm wearing it tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for
For
doing
every
Thank
holiday,
you for
I
coming
make her
to
a
our
bow.
New Year's Eve party. That was so
Oh,
nice.
is this a New Year's Eve party?
Yeah, it's 2012 already on the East Coast.
Oh, I'm glad you told me.
I know.
Who would have known?
I
Randy,
didn't know that.
Randy, have you met Rose before?
Ever so briefly.
Randy
at,
West, and he's a game show announcer.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
Nice
Do you have
to see
any?
you
Do you have
too.
anything you want to ask her about Hollywood Squares?
1,001 questions
Go ahead.
about all of your career, going back to Baby Rosemary. You did that Vitagraph short.
Vitaphone.
Short where we first saw you, because everybody on radio thought you must have been an adult because you had that thick
I had
voice.
the husky voice. I had this husky voice that everybody thought I was a 35-year-old midget.
And your first television show, long before we knew you from Dick Van Dyke, had you done television before that?
Oh yeah.
Oh God, yes. I did a lot of television. I did a lot of Jackie Gleason shows because Jackie and I were friends when both of us were doing club dates in Newark for $5 a piece.
So that might have been the Dumont show that he did, Cavalcade of Stars?
I did his first and last show every season.
Oh, no kidding.
And he told me one time, he says, I'm going to pay you more money than anybody else has paid you for television. And he paid me $5,000
Wow, in those days.
in those days.
That's phenomenal. Wow.
You know what I never asked you about was the series you did right before the Dick Van Dyke Show, and I'm not talking about Love That Bob. I'm talking about My Sister Eileen.
That lasted one season. And that was with Elaine Stritch and Judy Bond. Very pretty girl.
Elaine Stritch. Ooh, was she like tough to work with?
She's a very talented lady and she's very clever, but she's not very friendly. And so it was very difficult to work. She was the only one I never got along with. In all my years of show business, I've worked with the best and the worst, and they've all been just wonderful to me.
Oh.
I mean, you know about the Three Stooges.
Yes. Yeah, we had
You know about Edgar Bergen and people like that.
I don't know. I don't think we talked about Edgar Bergen on the show. I know it was in your book.
Well, I had a couple of guest shots on Murphy Brown, which was Edgar Bergen's daughter, Candace Brown.
Bergen.
Candace Bergen, I'll be all right.
It's okay.
I've had 2 cups of tea.
One's your limit, yeah.
And so I looked through my mother kept the scrapbook. I looked through it for the book to put stuff in the book, and I found an ad for a theater that I worked in, I think Albany or something like that. And there was a list of acts. There was my picture in the ad, Baby Rosemary, come and see Baby Rosemary, and then all the lists of the other acts that were in vaudeville. And Edgar Bergen was in the list. So when I did Murphy Brown, I said to Candace, I said, I worked with your father in vaudeville. She says, you did? I said, yeah, when he was doing the doctor sketch. She says, well, you couldn't have played the nurse, you were too young. I said, no, I was headlining. And that didn't set too well with her.
Ooh, ooh.
But I did 2 more shows with her, and that was it. But I met all these wonderful people.
Yeah, but you were clearly a bigger star than Edgar Bergen was at that time. So why would she take offense at that?
I don't know, why don't you ask her?
Well, get her on the phone, Janine. She's got
Okay.
everybody's phone number.
I think she was very protective of her father. I know she was very strange about Charlie McCarthy.
Well, Edgar was strange about Charlie McCarthy. Treated her
Yeah,
like
but Candace it was like a brother
wow.
to her, and she didn't care too much for
Boy,
that.
I think we have the
She
makings
felt
of
like she was in competition.
Oh, wow.
Well, I think we have the makings of a Dr. Phil episode here. It sounds like. You know who we got on the phone?
Who?
We have the author of Living Room Legends, a book that you participated in. We have Eddie Lucas from Florida. Eddie, are you there?
Yeah, Happy New Year from the East Coast.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Did we do okay? I think we were on time for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the show. It's great.
Oh, thank you. Eddie interviewed you for this book that we gave away. What did I do with it? Have you got it?
Eddie's book, Living Room Legend.
Have you got it right
no,
there?
I don't have it.
I have it. Oh, it's right here.
Hold it up to the microphone.
Yes, here it is.
Yeah.
Here, folks. Can you see that? Rose you interviewed Rose for this book, right, Eddie?
Oh, yeah. She gave me a great interview.
Yeah, and so what I want you to do, Rose, is we have a winner from the first hour that won this book, and I want you to, if you wouldn't mind, to autograph it. You start on page 108. Did you send Rose a copy of this book? Because she's looking at me like she doesn't know what
No,
it
I
is.
didn't get a copy.
See, Rosemarie,
Yes, I sent her a book.
A Legend Among Legends.
Isn't that nice? Thank you.
And he's got, the way the book is set up, it's like an interview with me. Well, no, it's not like an interview with me. This is a good interview in the book. He asks a question, and then you give an answer. It's like when you read it as if you're listening to, look, see, you sent him a picture.
Yeah.
See, it says to Eddie. See that?
See, how about that?
There you go. So if I could get you to autograph this for the winner. Who was the winner of our first hour? It was Max.
Yes.
Max Bump.
You are correct.
That was his name. Max Bump, Rose. B-U-M-P.
Okay.
All right. Do you have a pen, Janine? Or somebody has a pen?
I've got one right here.
You have one?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you mind just autographing that to Max? She's doing it right on the air, Max, if you're still
For
listening.
Max?
To Max, yeah. Yeah, she's writing it right. Boy, this is thrilling radio, isn't
It
it?
is.
Eddie, do you have a question for Rose that you haven't asked her?
Well, no, but I did want to. I want to make sure she got the book. Mark.
Your first mistake.
I was glad to send her another one.
Okay, Mark Wood told him that you got the book.
What book?
You just signed.
No, I didn't.
No, she's looking at this book.
No,
Eddie.
I didn't. I know what I get.
did want to
He
tell
might
you
have
how
kept
much I
it.
enjoyed the first book, and I'm really looking forward to the second one.
Yeah, did you hear that? He just said he enjoyed your first book and he's looking forward to the second book.
Well,
Eddie.
thank you. That's very nice. I wrote that every word. Nothing was edited. I wrote it in longhand and gave it to my secretary to put in all the commas and the exclamation points and all that.
All that good
And then
stuff.
I gave it to my daughter to put on the computer and send it to the editor. And I even picked out the cover and everything, all the pictures. The whole thing was mine.
Well, then you have an amazing memory because I read it and I was
Yeah.
She did.
unbelievable. You
She's-
knew
she's-
every little detail.
She is incredible. We've known you now, what, 2 years? I love this lady. You can ask her anything about
Total
show
recall.
business. She's got it.
Yeah.
Ask her about Top Banana.
Top Banana with Phil Silvers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Listen, I got to interrupt. We got an email from Debbie Whiting.
Oh.
Hi, Stu and Janine. Debbie Whiting here with a comment and a question for the fabulous Miss Rosemarie. I am so glad my mom and Rosemarie were dear friends. When Margaret passed in January this year, Rosemary gave me so much support. We speak often, and how lucky am I that Rosemary is in my life now. My question for Rosemary is, did she spend any New Year's Eves with the four girls, Margaret, Rosemary Clooney, and Helen O'Connell? Did you do any
I think they did 1 year. One year at my house. I think we spent, I'm pretty sure because I remember Helen O'Connell being there and getting ploshed. Yeah, we did. We spent New Year's Eve 1 year. I don't remember which year, but we did spend 1 year and had a hell of a good time.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. From Mark Maxwell Smith. Now, I don't know if you know him. He's a game show producer. He's a very funny guy, very creative, very talented guy. He says, this pertains to everything we've been doing here tonight. Hi, Mark. I hope you're still listening. I have computed the exact answer to the big question. Unfortunately, all the math has melted my hard drive. I am on my way to Fry's right now to get a replacement for my floppy disk, if you know what I mean. Just heard Rosemary mention crab dip. I had that procedure once. Very painful, but restorative. And Randy, you look much thinner on the radio.
Thank you. Mark's a wonderful guy.
That's Mark's. I got to have him back on the show.
Funny man.
It's been a while since he's been on the show.
And a dear soul.
So I'm loving this. See, this is like we're all over the world right now, Rose. All over the world.
I've got to ask Rose. Okay. We know about.
She's getting tired.
You opened for Bugsy Siegel, Benny Siegel.
Yeah.
At the Flamingo when it first opened.
Yeah. Well,
and you had this tremendous story about how he was so generous with you.
Well, first of all, the Flamingo was the dining room, the coffee shop, and the casino. There were no rooms. We all stayed at the El Rancho. And it was Jimmy Durante, Xavier Cugat, Abby Lane. That was the show. And me. And when Bugsy was building the thing, the mob only gave him $2 million because they thought he was crazy. And they didn't want to give him any more money.
But that was a lot back then. $2 million?
Yeah.
That's a lot today.
Now all you have to do is have long hair and show your pippic. And you make $20 million a movie. Anyway, the man from the Hollywood Reporter,
Wilkinson.
Billy Wilkinson, came to Bugsy and said, I'll give you the money to finish the place. And they became partners.
Mm-hmm.
And opening night, every star in Hollywood was there because you don't refuse Billy Wilkinson, who owns the Hollywood Reporter. So Lana Turner, Clark Gable, Robert Taylor, Robert Stanwyck, everybody in show business was there. The show was tremendous. And the second night, we did a great show. It was tremendous. The third night, everybody went back to Hollywood, and we worked to 9 people.
Ooh.
Now, if you can imagine Durante working to 9 people, it's really something to see.
Mm.
But anyway, the movie is wrong. We played 2 weeks. They did not close it at that time because Pearl Bailey, Dorothy Shea followed me in, and then Pearl Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
So the club did stay open. And of course it was a frightening thing to the locals in Vegas because everybody was wearing boots and stepping in you know what. Yeah. And this was such a high-class place that it scared everybody. And I think that's where the saying, come as you are, comes from. I mean it. I really do mean it. So anyway, first week, I'm sitting in the coffee shop with Tommy Wonder, who was a dancer in the show. And this man walks in and hands us the checks. And I look at my check and there's $11 missing. And I said, hey, mister. I go again. Tommy said, sit down, forget about it. I said, it's $11 out of my check. I think I was making $27.50 at that time.
$11.
It took $11. So I said, come here, I want to talk to you. He said, what's the matter? I said, you took $11 out of my check. Why? He said, did you draw any money? I said, who the hell draws $11? And he said, well, did you buy any? I said, no. If you need the $11, I'll give it to you. But don't take it out of my salary. because I don't know what it's for. He says, I'll be right back. I went back to the table and Tommy Wonder says, do you know who that was? I said, no. He says, Bugsy Siegel. I said, well, you're going to pick me up in an envelope. He came back about 20 minutes later with the $11. And he said, you were here the night before, and we all stayed at the El Rancho. We had to guarantee your room. So we took out the $11 for guarantee for your room. But here's the $11. I'm so sorry that it happened that way.
Wow.
She's the only one that could stand up to Bugsy Siegel.
And his girlfriend said to me, I was pregnant, by the way. His girlfriend said to me one night, Virginia Hill, she says, I love your gowns, you look beautiful, your show is great, but I think you should lose a little weight. And I said, I'm going to have a baby in a couple of months. And she says, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. She says, I'm going to Paris, is there anything you want? I said, I want you to get me the best christening dress that ever happened from Paris. She says, I will. And she did, and I still have it.
Wow,
Oh,
that's
wonderful.
great
Wow.
stuff. Eddie, are you still there?
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to declare? I'm going to let this lovely lady go because it's getting late.
And, tell Tony and Lauren I said hello.
Okay, they'll be on later, so if you want to call back, feel free. There's no problem. Phone lines are pretty open, and I think everybody's so captivated with everybody we've got on
Yeah,
here.
great stories.
People are afraid. We're getting tons of emails, though.
Good.
So, all right, Eddie, I'm going to say goodbye to you, and maybe we'll talk later tonight. And email me, and I'll give you Rose's address so you can send her a book.
Yes, I got to get her a book. I was told she got one, so I'm...
No, I didn't have one, and I'd appreciate it.
Consider the source who told you that. We'll get into that later.
Thank you.
Bye, Eddie.
Bye, Eddie.
Bye-bye.
Eddie Lucas, author of Living Room Legends.
Yes, and we have another prize of his that we're giving out later. Before we say goodbye to Rose, give out the trivia question for this hour. Let me make an announcement right now.
Okay.
Somebody hit it on the head.
The grand prize questions
I-
that was
I-
so difficult, somebody nailed it. And we'll get to that
Somebody
answer
got it.
in a bit.
So we will not. It's not fair to make the people, try. But we've got lots more prizes to give away
Yeah.
tonight. Okay.
Like right now, a Dick Van Dyke Show book.
Oh, what perfect timing, Rose! We are giving away the book that you and Larry Matthews autographed when you
Oh,
were
yeah.
here last. It's also autographed by Vince Waldron. It is the official Dick Van Dyke Show book.
Uh-huh.
All right, now before you give out the trivia question, let's take this call and see who this is. You're live on New Year's Eve. Who's calling?
Hi, my name is Roxana Redden.
Hello.
I'm the sister, basically, to Randall Malone.
Yes.
And I know Rosie, and I was going to say, she was just on best pasta sauce ever, talking about being a hostess.
Did you hear that, Rose?
No.
It's hard for her to hear the phone.
Is Rosie still there?
She's still here. This is Randall's sister, Roxanne.
Hi, sweetheart, how are you?
Oh, hello.
All of a sudden, Rose came alive.
Hello.
She says she.
Sweetheart, I haven't seen you in forever. I'm so hoping I'm supposed to come out and see Randy soon, and I want to see you too.
Boy, they sound alike. Doesn't she sound just like Randall? Randall's in the back of the house having a blast with the party. She says, Roxanne says,
He is?
yes.
Yes, because he is the party.
He is the party. He'll be on the show later.
And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay.
To be talking to Rose.
I'll let you talk to her in a second, but Roxanne says you have the best pasta sauce ever. I wanted to get that on record there. She just said that.
Oh, she knows.
She knows. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. You can talk to Rose for a minute, and then we got a break. Go ahead, Roxanne.
Okay, Rosie, sweetheart, Nathan, my husband came out. You made the pasta sauce for him, and I have yet to get the recipe. That he said.
I don't give out my recipes.
Oh, give her an ooh for that.
Good for you.
You've got to tell Margaret and Randy hi for me.
Margaret's going to be on the show next in the next segment.
Yeah.
And Randy's going to be on after Margaret. So you're not. Where are you calling from, Roxanne?
Louisville, Kentucky.
From Kentucky, where Randall is from. So what is it? Is it 11:30 there, or is it 12:30 there?
No, Happy New Year. I was going to say, I am your first person then who's actually, I've already had the champagne.
I can tell.
On day, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Year to you too.
Roxanne, Randall is going to be on the show in the next hour, so you can call back.
I really will try to, because and Rosie will tell you the same thing, as will Margaret. Like my brother, I'm an only child. We have known each other forever, and I will tell you things about him that he doesn't want told unless he puts the check in the mail.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe we should have her on the show at some
Yeah.
point. Roxanne, I need your phone number. We can blackmail Randall if he gives us a hard time. All right, Roxanne, thanks for calling, and we'll talk to you maybe when Randall is on in the next hour.
Okay, y'all have a great New Year's. Thank
Y'all.
you.
Happy
Thank you.
New
I
Year
love
to
it.
you.
I love
Happy
it.
New
Thanks.
Year.
Bye. I love the accent. I just
Yeah.
love that. You got the question, and we'll go to commercial.
Yes, this is for the Dick Van Dyke book by Vince Waldron that Rosemary and Larry Matthews have autographed.
And Vince.
Yes, of course, the author. Here's your question, folks. You're going to call in with the right answer, 888-746-5875. Who was Maud Findlay related to in the bunkers of All in the Family? Maud was a spin-off from All in the Family. Who was Maud related to in the Bunker family? Was she Edith's cousin, Edith's aunt, Archie's cousin, or Archie's stepsister? You got the question? I think you do. Who was Maud related to when she spun off from the All in the Family Archie Bunker show? Good luck.
And that's 888-746-5875. Rosemary, thank you so much for
My
being
pleasure.
here. Happy
Nice
New Year.
way to start the new year.
It sure is. We love you, and
We
you'll be
love
back
you,
on my
Rosie.
show in 2012.
And I'm wearing my Shalimar.
Yes. Oh, that's right. I gave her that. I got to go get your shirt. It was so hot I couldn't wear the shirt.
She told me, I'm sorry.
You-
But you don't go to a store and say, give me a thermal shirt.
No, you could say give me a T-shirt though, but I would.
all right,
But
okay.
I'll put it on because it does
No,
fit.
no,
and I
no,
want
no,
you to see
no.
that I can wear it. Okay, we got to go to commercial and 888-746-5875 for the answer to win the Dick Van Dyke Show book. Happy New Year, Rose. I love you. Thank you for doing this tonight.
Thank you,
pleasure.
Rose.
Be right back, folks.
It's time